All right, Zach Wilkins leading this PBA Scorpion Championship. You just made a joke as you're sitting down here. It's getting familiar.
Yeah.
How do you describe these last few weeks for you?
Man, it's almost a blur, to be honest. You just continually focus on, your process, your routine, each shot at a time, and then next thing you know, you're on TV, and then next thing you know, you're packing the truck and heading to the next stop, and you do it all over again. It just shows that putting in the work in the off season, it can be brutal at times. You don't want to practice some days, but I think it's all starting to finally pay off.
Yeah, I was joking with another player earlier. The old cliche of process over results and just focusing on the next shot. Those are cliches because they work. But how does it feel, as you're kind of alluding to there, that these just trusting the process for years and years, and now you're starting to see some true grade A results from it?
Yeah, in my head, and I think I speak from a lot of bowlers that just don't ever give up, because it's so easy at times to just throw in the white flag and just walk away from it, or just accept that this may never happen. And I'm just not one to ever give up. I'm always finding new ways to learn, whether it's watching people bowl or talking to the Hall of Famers. Today I got to cross with Bill and learned a lot of different information on how he thinks of bowling and his thought process. So just always finding new ways to learn out here, and it definitely helps.
All right, you lead Scorpion qualifying here, jumping from fourth to first in the last game, securing the bye here for the bracket. What were you able to find out here for these 10 games to put yourself in such a strong position?
Well, it's funny you say that, because after 3 games, I would never think I was going to be sitting in this chair. I was 32 under, I think, at one point. And it's so easy to get lost in this building. You're thinking about lane to lane, pair to pair, just how diabolical it is. And then you get kind of stuck in that muddy mess. So knowing we've been able to bowl here for the last 4 days, I think, my mindset after being minus those 3 games, I was like, all right, we're going to grab the cleanest bowling ball cover that we have, and I'm just going to trust my rev rate and trust that I can get it back from almost anywhere on the lane right now. And that's kind of what we did. We kind of just dumbed it down.
All right, that's it worked to perfection for you these last 7 games.
Yeah.
How are you feeling heading into Shark tomorrow?
I feel obviously pretty good. I think Shark's going to be a little bit more self-explanatory with the length. Obviously, pair-to-pair can be a little difficult, but I think we're just going to kind of stick to the same process, kind of eliminate all the other variables, because it's so easy to get lost in all of those, especially with 5 games and people think it's a sprint. But I have an overall picture that I want to get to, and I'm just going to trust each shot and each frame at a time.
All right, you get the win in Portland a few weeks ago, runner-up in the TOC last week. How were you able to take the positives of leading the Tournament of Champions and then kind of shake off the disappointment of finishing up just short in the title match and perform out here this week?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I learned a lot being a number 1 seed. There's a lot of sitting around doing not a heck of a lot, and I think that weighed a little bit on, going into that title match. The game plan I had to change up a little bit heading into that final match, so it was a little frustrating, but I really think that all the hard work that I've done has led to all of this success, so I'm just going to keep putting in that hard work and trusting my ability to continue making shows and cashing, whatever it may be, and ultimately it just leads to sitting in this chair, I guess.
All right, we'll keep this chair warm for you. Maybe we'll see you again tomorrow night. Congratulations, Zach. We'll see you on the Scorpion finals.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, EJ Tackett, unofficially the number 3 seed here in the PBA Scorpion Championship. First 2 events didn't go the way you wanted necessarily. Didn't make the show in either one, which is only a disappointment when you're EJ Tackett and you make all of them a year ago. Now that you're onto a show here, how are you feeling through 3 days?
Yeah, the cheetah was a little bit weird the first day, especially the second block. I definitely didn't see it the right way. Ended up missing by, I think, about 40 pins or so on that one. And then the second day on Chameleon, I felt like I physically bowled really, really good. The first block, I just could not strike at all. Came in with a different game plan. The second block, bowled really well. Ended up missing by 30. But put myself in a in a good position for the World Championships, even though those first two events wasn't what I wanted. I think I was about 13th or something after those two events for the World Championships. And then bowled good this morning and was able to come back, and it started off really hot and then got caught in the transition there in the middle, and bowled a really good last game. Didn't score as much as I thought I should have that last game, but it was good enough to get me into the bye and on the show, and again put myself in a really good position in the World Championships. I don't know exactly where I'm going to be, but somewhere in the top 5, which is great with an event to go, and then a bunch of games left to bowl in the World Championship itself.
I believe you are leading the World Championship as of this moment, which is, imagine that it might be where you want it to be after 3 days. How much have you been, I don't even know if this is the right way to phrase it, so correct me on how you would phrase it. How much have you been looking forward to this event as the 3-time defending world champion?
Well, the World Series has always been one of my favorite events. We're bowling on a bunch of different patterns. Typically, it showcases the guys that can get their ball to do the right thing across multiple different patterns in the same building. Sometimes the building can dictate it a little bit, but it still showcases the best players. And I think over the course of time, I think that's why we've seen guys like Belmo and Simo on the show so many times over the last decade, because they are really, really good at manipulating their ball roll and finding the right part of the lane on all the different patterns. And it's always fun to do that. And it's a bunch of games, which I really like, because I feel like the more games you give me, the better my chances are at being towards the top and on a TV show. So I think that's why I've always looked forward to the World Series, because we bowl all these singular events, but there's a bigger picture at the end, and that's what I kept reminding myself the first 2 days. Both times the game 10, I threw like a 5-bagger at the end of the game, even though I couldn't get to the show number. It was important to do that, because that's just accumulating pins, and that's just the mindset that I've kind of always had in the World Series, that my outlook's been towards the World Championships instead of singular on just that event.
All right, well, we have one more piece of the puzzle here in the Shark Championship tomorrow. You are also the 2-time defending champion of that. How are you feeling heading into the Shark pattern tomorrow? What have you maybe learned from these first 3 patterns that you can apply to Shark tomorrow?
Yeah, I think last night, coming in with a different game plan, throwing some different bowling balls, some that I hadn't thrown at all this week, gave me a little bit better picture of the building and the types of bowling balls that I should be throwing to maybe even out the lanes, because lane to lane has been brutal, to say the least. So the right ball choice can definitely make that difference between the lanes not so substantial. And I think that played in to today and me bowling a little bit better today. So hopefully we can carry that into tomorrow and make a good game plan on the Shark and get the right balls in my hand early. And then at that point, it's just about execution. And over the last 2 days, I felt like my execution's been pretty top notch. It's been, I wouldn't say it's the best that it's ever been, but it's pretty damn good the last 2 days. So hopefully I can carry that into tomorrow and put myself on another TV show with another opportunity to defend another championship.
All right, EJ, we'll see you in the Scorpion Championship on May 11th, and maybe the Shark Championship on May 12th too.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Graham Fach, you put yourself in a pretty good spot here through 9 games in the Scorpion Championship, and you made damn sure you were going to make this show with 300 in your final game. What was your mentality heading into the last game? I don't know if you look at the standings, knowing you were in 12th if you were. What was your attitude heading into Game 10 here?
I did not look at the scores going in. Around me, there were some pretty high scores. There were guys that may have struggled a little bit this morning that were scoring really high, so I wasn't sure what the cut was going to be. I didn't know where I was. I was scouting pairs, and I know who started there and what they did, and so I was hoping I could find a way to manipulate it into at least some sort of string and get some score that last game. And yeah, the game plan worked. I wouldn't have predicted it, but I mean, you throw good shots in a good situation and good things happen.
Yeah, a lot of players have talked about the challenges lane to lane, pair to pair so far this week. How important is it when you get lined up and through 2, 3, 4 frames to take advantage of it and put up a big number, whether it's 300 or whether it's 258?
It's so important, because like you said, lane to lane is so different. So almost to start with a double, you have to guess right twice. And normally the right move doesn't work on both lanes. So as soon as you figure them out, you really got to take advantage. And it's not easy out here. It's an added challenge we deal with, and we all do it.
How are you feeling so far through Cheetah, Chameleon, and Scorpion, and as far as you're sitting in the World Championship?
I mean, it's looking up. Cheetah, obviously, I was very frustrated with. I felt like I could have done better. I felt like I was throwing it okay. I wasn't seeing it properly. My ball wasn't seeing it properly. I felt like my ball hasn't struck it all month. So, that kind of compounded. And, it did not put me in a good place mentally for Cheetah, and it ran over into Chameleon as well. And, I kind of struck my way out of it today for Scorpion.
Yeah, you started off the season on fire, obviously making the show in the major and then winning a title in the next event. How has this season gone for you so far? You just mentioned there that you've been struggling for about a month or so trying to string strikes here. So how are you feeling about your season as a whole at this point?
As a whole, I think it's still good. Anytime you walk away with a title, it's going to be a good year. And, a major finish on TV as well. I've just missed TV a couple times, and, now I'm back on TV. So overall, it's a good year. There's a lot of peaks and valleys, especially as a left-hander. It falls normally somewhere in between, but, I'd say it's a pretty good season.
How are you feeling heading into the Shark Championship tomorrow?
My ball's starting to strike. I hope it keeps striking. I hope that last month is behind me. And, I just hope I do the right thing. It's going to be challenging. There's going to be a lot of play on the right-handers. We're going to cross them. What I've seen in practice and how they've broken down in every animal pattern so far was different. So I expect that to stay the same.
Expecting nothing to stay the same. I think that sums up this week so far as a whole. Any final thoughts?
It's exciting to bowl at the World Series. It's not easy out here, but we still got the World Championship, and so hopefully I can dig myself out of the hole I created.
All right, Grandpa, we'll see you on the Scorpion Championship Finals. May
Thank
11th.
you.
All right, Jesper, you're onto the show here in the Scorpion Championship. Probably a bit of a relief after the first 2 days, just shy of a cashing spot on Cheetah, and then. We won't talk about Chameleon necessarily, but how were you able to reset mentally and perform at near your best today?
To be honest, I wasn't able to. But, yeah, I mean, Cheetah is the last game that really cost me, and some unfortunate things throughout the 10 games. But you can't really afford any mistakes with only 10 games to bowl and 120 guys to beat. So, and yeah, Chameleon, obviously embarrassing performance, and yeah, just bad across the board. But I really feel like this season has been very challenging. Definitely made me realize some things about myself. I just need to maybe work a little different in the off season and also while I'm here. And but yeah, I try to just shift my focus from results to more my physical game and try to just simply bowl better. I mean, it's easy to say, like, yeah, I just bowled better, but to be perfectly honest, that's what happened, and that got me into seeing the lanes in a better way and just be able to get some strikes together and, yeah, make the cut. So,
what are some of those changes that you want to maybe next season, maybe as starting tomorrow, just start working on and applying?
Well, it's a lot of things, both physically, emotionally, everything. Like, it's been the longest time I've ever been away from my family, and that has really been a struggle. Not seeing my daughter for 4 months is just, been killing me throughout the year, and especially struggling. I feel like I haven't really felt good. I haven't felt happy to be here and happy to do what I do, and that's a big issue. So I need to find some changes in regards to that. And well, to be perfectly honest, I feel like a lot of bad things that have happened this year on the lanes have come off of that I haven't really enjoyed it as much as I need to. And just, it's a privilege to be out here and compete for a living, and I need to find that mindset all the time with the changes that needs to be made to make me feel better. I think the results will again come, and then regardless of how this tournament finishes up or whatever is coming up ahead, this season has been just a mess and not up to standards where I want to be. But 4 appearances on TV so far makes me believe that I still physically have what it takes to be competitive, but I need to make sure that I feel better within myself to put me in a better spot.
Really insightful answer there. To go kind of into some specifics from today, obviously the Instagram post earlier today, kind of half joking about how you normally are known for playing up the lane with your thing. You were pretty far right, kind of hooking the lane a little bit here, and still able to make it onto a show. What does that say about your versatility that maybe people underrate?
I mean, AI working good these days. I've seen the comments, but no, all jokes aside, it's just a part of my game that I know I need to get better at, but on a good day, I guess I can do whatever it takes to, play all over the lane. But at this point, I'm just don't really care about people's opinion. I'm gonna throw whatever ball, whatever line that I believe, together with the ball reps, whatever they believe is the best option. That's where I'm gonna go with. And it happened to be far right this time, and but yeah, it was cool to get to do that and actually get comfortable in a spot where I'm normally not as comfortable. And people can say whatever they want. I don't really care, to be honest.
All right, Jesper, we'll let you rest up and get ready for Shark tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.